Hey, this is Dr. Noel Lloyd, and for
Hey,
Fox, I didn't hear anything, and I didn't know what to do. It says presenter bridge, the connection of the bridge of the webcast server has been lost. Please connect the bridge. So you tell me what to do.
Okay, we're going to hold on 2 seconds. I am disconnecting it from the bridge. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I don't know if y'all could hear Dr. Lloyd and I speaking because I think I took the bridge down, but I don't know today because I gave him a minor, teeny, tiny little panic attack when I did not join the webinar 15 minutes early because I was running behind because I was running my mouth on the ChiroCode webinar. They have a great webinar series that happens right before ours every single week, and you can see their upcoming webinars on our website too. So check them out. And I'm not just saying that because I was today's presenter. But I do want to say thank you so much for being here today. We're real excited to have Dr. Noel Lloyd here to talk about a really important part of your practice, which is marketing, but more importantly, who should be doing that marketing and really establishing your brand within the community. And I'll give you a hint, it's not you, doctor. Dr. Lloyd decided that he was going to become a chiropractor at the age of 11, which I love because my 11-year-old has wanted to be a chiropractor since he was about 7 or 8 years old. And with his father's help, he graduated from Palmer College back in 1971 and started the Sound Chiropractic Centers in Western Washington, where he built and sold 10 clinics to his associates. He is now the head of 5-Star Management and the New Patient Academy, and he's helping doctors develop strong win-win associateships and new patient acquisition. Dr. Lloyd, thank you for being here today.
It's my pleasure, Christy.
Y'all have no idea how busy this man is. Like, he is everywhere. And I feel like we must be passing each other in airports because I'll get an email from you that says, hey, I'm in Georgia. And I'm like, I was just in Georgia like 2 hours ago.
Yeah, and I'm going back to Georgia, too, in May, and Hawaii in April, and I'll be in Chicago and Texas, and I'll see you in Texas in the fall. So, yeah,
well,
we're busy. But you know what? It's fun, isn't it?
It is. It's a lot of fun. Well, Dr. Lloyd, please, 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 please help share your wisdom with our incredible audience because I know they are dying to hear what you have to say about getting the right person in place to help get their brand and marketing out into the communities.
Okay, Christy, thank you so much. Well, I am super, super excited to talk about this. How to hire, how to train, how to motivate an external marketer. I've been coaching people for many, many years, and 95% of the phone calls that would come for the last 30 years would be, how do I get more new patients? How do I get more new patients? And so this training and motivating an external marketer is one of the most important subjects that we can talk about. If you get your external marketing squared away, you're going to have a great practice. If you don't, you are going to have some trouble. So I'm going to click on this slide. This is me. Do you know how much it costs to get my hair that color of white? It cost me a whole bunch of birthdays. That's me standing out in front of my office. Hey, if you can see, I'm going to ask for some interaction today, and I think we should start now. If you can hear my voice, and you can see my slides move, if you would just type in GTG, that means we're good to go. GTG means good to go. I'll take a sip of coffee, let you grab a keyboard, and then you guys can bang away on some responses. And Christy, you might help me figure out where to look for the responses from the people who are attending. Oh, there we go. Hey, Kathy, thank you so much. Thank you, and others. Nikki, thank you, thanks. Okay, and Gary. Okay, so I see how this is coming in now. And Dina, super. Okay, great. Well, let me take you right into where we're going to go today. And this is it's called a genius model. And I'm colorblind, so I had to ask Zoe of what the colors were. I want us to go right into the center, because the center is what I call the sweet spot. And here's a picture of a clinic owner. That's a unisex clinic owner. Could be a guy, could be a girl. And they are living the dream. They've got the practice of their dreams. Maybe they've got multiple associates. They're getting great time off. They're literally living the practice dream that they thought of in chiropractic college, and the one that they now have. Now, that's in the salmon colored. That's called the sweet spot. Let's take a look at the teal. Let's take a look at the teal tab over on the right-hand side, upper right-hand side. Lots of new patients, an extra 3, an extra 5, an extra 7+ new patients every single week, on top of referrals, on top of the other things that they're doing, so that there's tons and tons of extra new patients. Now, down below, the teal tab that's right below, that's what I call freedom. The freedom to not have to do the marketing yourself. But there's also some other freedoms in there. If you can get lots and lots of new patients, you can have an associate practice, and you can have your associates super, super busy, and your associates can successfully handle the practice with you out of the practice. One of the things that I hear from people that I speak to is that they love being a successful chiropractor in a busy practice, but they don't get a fraction of the free time. The answer to freedom, in my view, is lots of new patients. Then there's the tab over here on the upper left, and it's called Great Income from New Patients. Great income. So if you see lots of people in your practice, lots of new patients, you're going to have a great income. So how do you put those tabs together? Right up at the top, and this is one of the things that we'll cover, it says Killer New Patient Program. And around the circle at the top, it has rest, plug and play, and produces. So what does your new patient program need to do? I call it REST, which is a rapid event system template, something that's easy to do, something that you can set up an event and have an event, an external event, in no time at all. What I call plug and play, and that's the middle piece there in the salmon color at the very top, is that you can insert different people. You can put a CA in there. You can put an LMT, which is a licensed massage therapist. You can put an associate in there. You can go. You can plug and play. The parts are interchangeable. And then on the right-hand side, it says it produces. Now, people have asked me so many different times, what's a good production number for external marketing? Yeah, I figure that off 100 new patient appointments I'm going to make in doing external marketing, or my COA is going to make doing external marketing, I want to see 66% of those people come in and 44% of those people get some care or commit money to care. That's what I call the 2/3 model. Now, one killer new patient program, it's a rapid event system template. We can plug and play different people in it, and it's going to produce. It's going to produce great new patients that actually get care. Now, there's a circle over on the right-hand side, and it says external marketing person, or a COA. There's 3 pieces around this circle, and I'd like for you to either do a screenshot or a print my screen so you have this model here. The first thing is what I call a hiring kit. You need the information, and I'm going to cover how to hire this person. Then the thing that you need is that you need 4 times training. And being able to train somebody is so important, because you can't just give them a book and throw them out on the street. It doesn't work up. And there's another piece here I want to take you through, and that's audition, a job audition. So you get a hiring kit, You get a job audition. It's the only true way to see if they know how to do the position or if they have the temperament for it. And then 4 times training, and I'll cover the training in a bit. Now, once you get somebody, how do you manage them? You manage them, first of all, with statistics. The only way to know if you've got a good external marketer is that they produce new patients that actually treat. Number 2, you do what I call a check-in and a check-out, and I'm going to talk to you about that in just a little bit. We'll cover that. And then number 3, up at the top, it says they lead your associates. Now, you take a look at that little cluster of stick figures, well, not stick figures, but just smiley faces over on the right-hand side, the left-hand side. I found that one of the best ways to manage a community outreach assistant is to give that person authority and responsibility for helping my associates actually do their marketing. And one of the things that we do at Sound Chiropractic Centers is that we'll have marketing meetings where we have the external marketing assistant, the COA, and the associates together. And that's one of the things that's, first of all, helped my associates, and secondly, has really, really helped me manage that person. Now, if you stick with me all the way to the end, I'm going to make sure that you get these tools as a free gift. I've got a new patient analyzer, and this will help you know where you're strong and where you're weak on new patient marketing, what you need to work on. And then also I've got a associate analyzer. If you think that you're ready for an associate, this will tell you if you are, number 1, and number 2, if you're not, what you need to do to get ready. And then I have something that's called the plug and play flow chart, and it goes from intern down in the lower right-hand corner up through an unlicensed chiropractor in the lower left-hand corner, all the way up to clinic owner. It's a really, really good tool. It's an excellent tool. So now let's jump back into the presentation. I've been a chiropractor. I'm 69 years old. I've been a chiropractor since I've been 22 years old, and I've been coaching people for over 30 plus years. And I'm going to tell you that these statements are true. Get new patients right, and you'll succeed. Get new patients wrong, and you'll struggle. Period. I have seen mediocre chiropractors who I wouldn't let adjust me, either by accident or on purpose, become really good marketers. And because chiropractic is so strong, they have these great practices where their patients just love them because chiropractic is that good. And I have also seen wonderful chiropractors who know how to set an atlas within a gnat's eyelash of perfect. They love their patients. They love their community. They love chiropractic. And if for some reason they struggle with new patients, they're going to struggle in practice. It's not fair, but it's true. The second statement here, nothing transforms a practice faster than learning how to produce lots and lots of new patients. And there isn't anything. I have seen practices double. I've seen them triple. I've seen the practices go from 80 visits a week to 420 patient visits a week over a period of time. There's a lot of growth in there, some growing pains, all because somebody figured out new patients. A great, great chiropractor that I met and started to help, his name is Steve Jones in Louisville, Kentucky, was right around 80 visits a week and now does in the low 400s and has 2 great associates, all because he got new patients taken care of. So why do I put this slide in here? This is how important it is. And we want to tackle it, and we want to understand it, and we want to fix it, and that's one of the things that we're going to talk about today. Now, I've got a question for you. How many extra new patients would you need to live the dream? And I mean on top of all the people that you're seeing right now. By the way, average new patients for the country is about 4.3 new patients per week. That's average. Anything less than that, I think that you're in real peril. But if you would grab your keyboard and if you type in some answers for me, I would really appreciate that. How many extra new patients do you need to live the dream? And I'm going to take another sip of coffee. Will you guys bang away on that keyboard? I've got another slide for you after we do this one that I think will be illuminating. It will be something that you'll like to see. Just waiting for a couple answers. How many extra new patients do you need to live the dream? And maybe it's a practice volume that you want to get to. Okay, I got an answer. Oh, 10. 10 from Nick. And let's see, the Oregon Chiropractic Association. It's not a clinic. Okay. Okay. Let's see, 20. Okay, 20 a month, I'm imagining. 25, an extra 25, says Dr. Ellis, for a month. Okay, good answers, really, really good answers. Now, I want to show you something, and I think that you'll be surprised. What's the cost to not handle your new patient problem? But what this also shows is just take a look at this. One extra new patient a week over 50 weeks at a $1,500 case visit average. One is $75,000 extra income. And on a 25 PVA, patient visit average, that's someplace in the neighborhood of an additional 25 patient visits a week. Just three extra new patients a week, 50 weeks on a $1,500 case visit average, is just shy of $250,000 at 225, and an extra 75 patient visits on a 25 PVA, and 5 extra new patients a week on 50 weeks is $375,000 and an extra 125 patients. Now, I frequently, when I teach on this and show this slide, I ask doctors, how many patients could you actually absorb in your office right now? And if you've got 60, 80, 100, 150 patient visits a week, to throw an extra 125 patient visits a week, that's just an extra 5 new patients a week. Now, that's consistent with some of the information that you gave me as I asked for some response. Some doctors said 20, 25, some said 10. So that's really interesting. So over 3 years, an extra 5 new patients means an increase in practice income of $1,125,000. Now, I'm going to show you a picture and tell you a short story. This is Dr. Pat Lau, also of Louisville, Kentucky. And Pat started working with a COA, Community Outreach Assistant. His practice grew, and in the first year with the COA, where he actually got a little panicked. He had a reverse new patient problem, which wasn't where are my new patients coming from, but what am I going to do with all these new patients? Well, in the first year, he increased by a couple $100,000. The next year, an additional $200,000. And the third year, an additional $180,000. And one of the reasons is that he was entering a capacity crunch. By the way, he had to hire 2 associates in order to be able to handle all of the new patients that he was getting. By the way, if you add 200,000 and then 200,000 and 200,000 from the second year, and then 180 plus 200 and plus 200,000 from the third year, he increased by $1,180,000 in actual collected money over a period of 3 years. Now, new patient marketing is hard. It's the thing that caused the most people to call me at 5-Star Management and the most people to call me at the New Patient Academy. What's the hardest part that you're experiencing with new patient marketing? If you would grab your keyboard again and interact with me, I promise you a better experience. And I'm going to take another sip of coffee. By the way, yes, I like coffee. Why do you ask? I have heard all kinds of different answers to this, probably more answers than any one person can think of. But there are some pretty common answers. And if you type in your answer, I'd appreciate it. By the way, when you solve the new patient problem, okay, here we go. Actually getting them through the door, says Dr. Pace. Yes, Nick, I agree. Getting them in the office. Consistency month after month, says Dr. Bastable. And I hope that I'm doing an okay job with your name, doctor. Okay, what are some other problems? So one is consistency. And I know why you're not consistent with your marketing, and I've got some slides on that in just a second. And I also know why getting them through the door is a challenge. You know what? Let's just click right on. Here we go. Getting them into our office, says Dr. Let's see. Finding a COA with the knowledge and skills to bring the right people, says Kathy. Dr. Kathy, that's great. That's true. Yes, it is. And let's see. Michelle says competing with many other clinics in our area, finding patients with any insurance or any money, finding patients. Let's see. Boy, good answers. Thank you so much. I really appreciate when you guys type in. It really helps my presentation. So. This is you. This is you if you're a guy doctor, and if you're a girl doctor, it would be a different set of hats. So many of us, we're managers, and we're leaders, and we're trainers. We have to manage, lead, and train our staff. So many of us are also bookkeepers. You write out the checks to pay the clinic bills and your payroll. And over the weekend, when I was teaching in Chicago, weekend before last, I asked how many of you actually assist in the billing, and a number of doctors raised their hand. And how many of you also know that you're also a full-time chiropractor? And so you wear so many hats, and you've got so much to do already. And the person who maybe works 3 days on patients probably also works another 2 or 3 days on all the admin stuff. So this is one of the things that happens. At first, you've got all the time and you've got no money, and so you do the marketing. Then you get busy, and what happens is that you've got no time and you quit marketing, and then your practice can crash. And again, you've got time but no money, so you go marketing, and then you can't maintain your consistency. And one of the doctors said consistency is the issue, and the reason is because you've got so many freaking hats to wear, and then you get busy, and what'll happen is the marketing gets pushed to the back of the stove on the back burner, and then it falls off the stove altogether. Now, here's another reason. You just may suck at external marketing. I remember talking to a doctor one time, and he says, Noel, I would do external marketing. I'm just no good at it. And I've talked to a number of doctors who absolutely hate it. So you're a marketing roller coaster. You might not be any good at it, or you just hate it. I've had so many people almost they glaze over, and they talk about how they hate marketing. Well, this is a whole new deal today, and this is if you've got a front desk CA, and if you've got someone to help you with your front desk, and you've got a billing CA, you've got somebody to help you make sure that you get things billed correctly, and maybe you've got a therapy CA. Why, oh, why in the world is there no marketing CA? Why is there no marketing CA? And so what I believe that this is the most logical hire in all of chiropractic. Now, I've done 10 clinics, and I've sold those to my associates. And had a ton of fun doing it. And if I was to do another clinic today, the first person I'd hire would be a DC. But you know what? If I ran into the right COA even before I found a DC, before I hired a front desk, before I hired a billing person, before I hired a therapy CA, I would hire a marketing CA. Without a marketing CA to help me with my marketing and help me get my chiropractor busy, all these other positions don't make sense. So if you're taking notes, would you write down, this is the most logical hire in all of chiropractic. If I've got people to help me with my front desk and my billing CA and my therapy CA and my marketing CA, if I've got those people, I should have somebody help me produce new patients. But this position is not without its problems either, is it? And if you've tried to hire a marketing CA or you've worked on that particular part, what's the hardest part about a marketing CA? Now, one of the doctors said training. That was, I think, a very, very good answer, and we're going to talk about training in a little bit. But if you grab your keyboard, what are some of the other hard parts about the marketing CA? And I'm going to give you my formula for hiring a good marketing CA, but I want to know what the problems are that you have experienced. Isn't this a great picture? This guy just absolutely hates marketing, and this person is no good at it. So what are some of the hardest parts about a marketing CA? This is called the dramatic pause. There's a little lag. Okay, great. Salary was one. Okay, so what do we pay? You know what? I'll talk to you about that in a minute. There's a legal way to do it, and then there's the illegal way to do it. Okay. So let me, I want you to continue to give me your answers as I jump in here. So the first thing is the hiring piece. Now I work off what I call a 7-step hiring filters. Oh, let's see, keeping statistics to qualify what the marketing CA is producing, says Dr. Pace. Good answer, Nick. Good answer. Let's see, what are some of the other problems? You can keep typing them in, and I will keep reading them. Training the right personality and directing them. David, that is an excellent answer. To us, it's not a full-time position, so can't find the person interested plus salary, says Dr. Bastable. It's a part-time position in my office, too, and I can find that person, and so I'll give you some ideas on how to do that. Michelle says they represent the practice, but they are often people want to hear directly from the DC. I had somebody tell me that nobody can market like the DC, and if the DC isn't marketing because he or she is busy, then it's much, much better to have a representative who's highly trained. Let's see, their expertise, what to do with social media, Kathy says. Boy, these are great answers. Again, I really appreciate it. So let me talk to you about my process for finding this person. I put out a general administrative assisted ad with community or for community health education. And I'll put in my ad, sales experience helpful. And I want to have the biggest net I possibly can because I'm going to do a group interview. And then in the group interview, one of the ways that I start out, I explain my whole process, but I read 3 chiropractic testimonies. And then I give a super short explanation of what chiropractic is all about. So I read 3 testimonies, and I give them a short explanation of what chiropractic is all about. And then I basically tell them, we want somebody who's going to help us find people so that we can help people just like these. I'm going to read my job description, which is to assemble external events and be able to book new patient appointments and to follow up those new patient appointments into the office, then it feels like sales, and they get it. And then I tell them about the money. So this is the way that I pay this position. I pay this position the same amount that I pay a front desk CA on an hourly basis. I don't believe that you should do a commission. I think that kind of puts you in a questionable area in terms of rebating or capping. So I pay a straight hourly position, and I pay the same as I pay the front desk. I also, if they use their car and work for me, I'm going to compensate them. In Seattle here, I think it's 56 or 57 cents a mile, and I'm going to hire this position. Depending on your skill and your need, at someplace between 20 and 25 hours a week, and we can find a good number of people who work for us just that way. Now, I do a little private interview, and my private interview is super simple. You should write this down. Nordstrom, which is a very, very highly regarded store that started in Seattle with the best customer service ever, says that you hire the smile and you train the skill. We want to find people who light up when we talk to them about some of our events and what we do with our at our external events and how we meet people. I want people who light up when they hear about chiropractic testimonies. I'm going to ask them in my private interview, tell me what do we do with this position and why do we do it? Well, you go out into the community and you put these events and you ask people questions or you screen them and you make appointments for them and you help them come in and get better. That's what we do. Why do you want this job? Why do you think you're a good fit for this job? Now, I'm going to do this group interview with 2 or 3 of my staff people that will help me, Mandy at the front desk, Dr. Paul, one of my associates, and maybe another assistant helping me administrate all the different things. And then we pick 2 or 3 people to come back and do a job addition. Now, this is such a key piece. We set up external events, and we do that with a script, and we also do screenings and lunch and learns. We're going to actually take them to the office and sit them down for 1 or 2 hours and have them call to produce external events, or take them to a screening and have them work with our chiropractors on actually doing screening. Now, I don't know if you've ever done this or not, but have you ever done a job audition for a front desk position? You're going to lose a trusted and regarded front desk person, and so you bring somebody in that you want to be your hire, and that person sits next to your front desk CA, and the front desk CA explains the job as they do the job. Now, if this person who's there lights up, says to your front desk, I can do this work, this is great, and if they interact appropriately with the patient, and then even a little bit later in the audition, they're answering the phone, or they're giving clipboards, or assigning patients to different treatment areas, depending on how your office runs. And at the end of the audition, you say, so how do you like the position? They get a chance to see how it works, and you ask them, how do you like the position? I love it. This is great. Everybody here is so nice. We do the same thing with marketing. Let me tell you a short story. There was a young woman who was on the phone. She was on the phone for 45 minutes. I went over and sat next to her. I was going to listen to her do her calls, and I looked over and she was crying. And I said, what's wrong? She said, I don't like this. And I said, oh, well, you don't have to do this. I mean, this is why we do a job audition. So that was one reaction. And another young woman, I sat down next to her, and she's just chirping away like a little bird, having the best time talking to people and laughing. And she said, I don't know how I did. I hope I did well because I really like this position. In fact, I booked 3 events. On a job audition, we've had people actually book 4 events. So what we're looking for is somebody who is naturally gifted. Somebody who's naturally gifted. Now I'm going to go back up to my little diagram and hope you can read it. So this is with the hiring kit, we want to make sure that we know how to present the position. And this is the job audition. I had trouble reading it a little bit earlier today. This is such an important piece. You actually take them and they experience doing the work. Now, I suggest that you hire and train somebody to do your best system. If you don't have a best system, then you need to get a best system and make sure that they get trained. Now, if you've done any martial arts, you know that what somebody does is the white belts stand in the very back of the room, and progressively more senior belts go forward. So the white belt can watch the yellow belt, and the yellow belt can watch the blue belt, and the blue belt, I don't know how the order goes, but you're just always with your eyes to somebody who can do the work. Now, I'm going to go back to my little circle here. Take a look at the far right on this slide. There are two things that they need to learn. They need to learn how to set up an event, and that's on the phone or by doing what's called a walk-in. They need to learn how to do the event, whether it's a massage event or a screening or do a lunch and learn. They need to learn how to do that. They need to learn how to make appointments. Now stop. This is the most important thing. Of course, they're all important. All four of these are important. But some people go to an event and they say, here's a card, give me a call next week and we'll get you an appointment. It never works. If you're at the event, you need to make the appointment now. Whatever your particular offer is, you make the appointment now. We're not going to wait. We're going to make sure that we make the appointment now. And then the next thing is what I call follow-up. Our community outreach assistant is the only connection that the prospective patient has with our office, and so they're going to do what we call a courtesy call. Hey, Jeannie, I told Dr. Lloyd all about your headaches, and he's really looking forward to seeing you. And I know that you've got an appointment to come in and see him tomorrow at 3 o'clock. I'm going to be in the office, and I'm excited for you to meet the rest of our team and see our office. Everybody here is so nice. Now, do you know how to find us? And do you know where the parking is? So it's part of the COA's job as the connector to the prospective patient to make sure that they get in. So how do they learn all this stuff? They learn it by seeing it, by hearing it, by reading it, and by doing it. See it, hear it, read it, and do it. So all of that on the right side of the slide. Now, let me take you back down. So I've got my audition. I've got somebody who likes, we had somebody interview for the position that was anti-chiropractic. I don't know why they wanted to prospectively work with us, and she did a job audition, and we thought she was good, and found out that she just didn't know how she thought about and felt about chiropractic. And so she flunked the audition. The people who don't, we put them in training right away. Now, I'm going to tell you something that for some people is going to be counterintuitive, but I'm going to promise you it works this way. I'm not going to give them 6 different things that might work. I'm going to have this person do my Facebook, and this person is going to do the internal marketing, and this person is going to do 3 different external marketing things. I give them one killer slam dunk program, one that I know works and one that I know how to teach. And if I don't know how to teach it, I need to make sure that I get somebody who knows how to teach it. That's where I have up here at the very, very top, killer new patient program. We don't give them 3 or 4 or 5 things. Well, Dr. Lloyd, I want to give them 3 or 4 or 5 things, and one of them's got to work. No, here's what happens. They work on one until it gets tough. Then they give up and go work on the other until that gets tough. And then they go and work on the third. And I can't tell you how many people I've talked to who've said that they tried that approach and they never produced any new patients after 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months. So my favorite program is to do what I call a free massage event. And one of the reasons it's my favorite is because if I'm calling a company and I'm getting in touch with somebody who's in HR, it's pretty hard to find somebody who wouldn't like a free massage. And so we do free massage events, and we gives us a chance to take a history on somebody, gives us a chance to work with a massage therapist or my chiropractors. And my since massage is under the license of most chiropractors in most states, frequently the COA, Community Outreach Assistant, will take one of my associates, and the associate will do the massage work. Well, Dr. Lloyd, don't you think that that's a little bit beneath the chiropractor? No, I don't at all. I've actually done it, and you get your hands on people, and you get a chance to speak to them, and you're palpating them while you're doing a massage, and you can talk to them about what's wrong, and explain to them why they signed up for a massage because they've got headaches. I palpate their neck, and I notice that there's a puffy articular capsule and a spinous that's swung way over to the right on the axis vertebra. And because of that, doing that particular program, I can make an appointment for that person. I get in doing a massage event. I get my hands on doing a massage event, and I can prove to the person that they've got a problem in the context of a massage event. But you can do screenings, you can do lunch and learns. You just have to pick one program that you know works and works really well. Okay, so how do I motivate? How do I motivate my COA? This is one of the most important pieces right here. Let me explain what I mean. It's called engagement. I do a minute check-in and a minute check-out every day. And let me tell you what the opposite of this is that I talked to a doctor one time and I said, so how's your COA working out? And he wasn't a client of mine. I didn't help him with this position. He said, well, not good. What do you mean not good? Well, we're not getting any new patients. Well, that's the definition of not good. What does she say about that? Well, I haven't seen her for a while. How long haven't you seen her? 2 or 3 weeks, I'm not sure. Is she still drawing a paycheck? Yeah, about 35 hours a week. You haven't seen her, and she's not producing any new patients. That's not good. And you're paying her. So this is what I do. I want somebody to stop in and give me a check-in. I'm in the office. I'm adjusting patients. It's the COA's responsibility to come and find me and tell me what the day is. Dr. Lloyd, today I'm going to be on the phone for 3 hours. I have 2 events. I'm going to take the associate tonight to this particular event. I wrap up tonight. This is a long day for me. I wrap up tonight about 7:30 or 8 o'clock. Okay, great. Now, I listen to what's going on. It makes sense to me. The hours on the phone, the events, I'm in the loop. At the end of the day, if she's in the office and I am, I will get what's called a checkout. Dr. Lloyd, this is what I did. This is what happened. And so I hear what the plan is. I see how the plan went. This check-in, check-out. If they are someplace else, if they're not around, then one of the things that I can do is I can say, text me and let me know. But I'm going to check in and check out with somebody. Also I do a weekly meeting where they take me through the calendar, their leads, all the events that they have scheduled, how many new patients that they have produced in the week, from the month, year to date. And then this third thing, and I talked about this a little bit earlier, and I was kind of surprised when it worked this way, but I want to take you back to the slide. You see the little cluster over here on the left-hand side? Here's me at the top, my COA underneath me, and then my associates. When my COA knows that it's their responsibility to help me with the marketing with my DCs, I have this meeting with my DCs that goes this way. So Dr. Paul, this is Amanda. Amanda is our COA, Community Outreach Assistant. She's going to help you with your marketing. You and I are going to, the three of us are going to put together a marketing calendar. I believe associates need to produce their own events, but they need to also be assisted in producing their events and make sure that they're trained well. and the COA is just perfect for that. Now, that tends to be very, very motivational. Now, there are certain wrong ways to do this. Just handing them a book and say, here's this great book, go out and get me some new patients. It doesn't work because they didn't see it, they didn't hear it, they didn't read it, and they didn't do it. You give them 6 things to try. That's virtually a guaranteed crash and burn. I've got one killer program that I'm going to teach, and I'm going to make sure that they are successful and profitable in that killer program. Another wrong thing to do is to think, I don't have to think about my marketing ever again. You have to think about it. You have to be involved in it. You just don't have to do it. You can be back at the office. In fact, let me give you this snapshot. This is from the right way to do things. This is the way the pros do it. One of my clients was walking up to the front desk, and he saw a COA, and he forgot that she had an event. He remembered it a little bit later because he had had a busy day, and she was waving at him a fistful of appointments, and she said, I got 8 new patients. Now, on our two-thirds model, between 5 and 6 of those will come in, and between 3 and 4 of those will actually treat or get into a care plan. So pros use external marketers. Pros don't make crazy mistakes like thinking that they're never going to have to be involved in the marketing again. You have to be involved. You just don't have to do it. So this is what a pro will do. This is what the people that I believe you want to emulate will do. They'll have a COA, and the COA will produce the new patients for the owner, and the owner gets a chance to stay in the clinic and handle the patients. You get another pro approach would be this way, that the COA produces new patients for the owner and an associate. This is one of my favorites here. I've got a lot of people that I coach that have capacity practices, but they have a COA who's responsible for and to a couple different associates. And this is a business decision. So this is Dr. Keith Sparks, and he has 2 independent contractors that work with him, chiropractors, and he has a business relationship with them. And he's a chiropractic entrepreneur. He got a COA, community outreach assistant, who produces new patients for his independent contractors, and he can produce a new patient at such a low cost that it's really, really worth it for him to do it. Now, this is another another person that I coach. This is Dr. Jamie Kramer. And last year, Jamie had a baby. She had a 15-week maternity leave. And because Jamie understood how to work with associates and how to work with a community outreach assistant, Jamie's got $1 million practice because they broke 3 monthly collection records while she was out on her maternity leave. And I did an interview with her associate in the month of February. In the month of February of this year, so it's just last month, her 2 associates from external events coordinated by the COA produced an additional 45 new patients on top of all the referrals, and just blew away the record for February. Now, this is Dr. Tom Clapp, and Dr. Tom Clapp is a very successful person, and his wife has a wonderful program where she teaches CAs and DCs. Having a staff person going into the community and successfully producing new patients is the key to the chiropractic universe. So I think it's the most logical hire in the world. Oh, by the way, if you want my cool little stuff that I want to give you, which is the new patient analyzer, the plug and play, flow chart and the associate analyzer, what you need to do, and you have to be very precise on this. You text the word 5-star, one word, just the way it's written there, to 33444. You text it to that, and it'll ask you for an email, and then I will send you. You'll get those gifts as a result of that. And now it's time for questions. It's time for questions. How did I do? Oh, I ended all just about the right time, didn't I, Christy?
You did. Your timing is perfection. I love it. I love it.
So, by the way, these gifts. I think, let's see, this is the first thing I do with a client. Somebody who's having new patient problems, we do a diagnostic, and it's the new patient analyzer. Somebody wants to do associates, we do a diagnostic. And then this plug-and-play flow chart with all the little graphics and the people on it is a way of figuring out when you're ready to hire an associate exactly where you put them. So, Christy, I'll let you. So what should we do now? Should we answer questions?
We should. I'm letting refreshing the screen to see them come in. And I have to say that one of my favorite pieces of advice that you gave today was about the audition and having them come in and, sit with the front desk CA or to do the job and see how they do, because I will tell you that we do this. We actually have 2 auditions going on at the ChiroHealthUSA office tomorrow, and I don't care how well you interview in that time frame, you cannot uphold a false persona.
Right.
In that environment.
And by the way, we pay this contract work. If we don't hire them, we're going to just write them a check, and it's 1099. It's contract work. You don't have to worry about the 1099 because if you pay them less than $600, you don't have to 1099 it. But I pay, and if I hire that person, I ask them for permission to roll those 2 hours into their first paycheck. And usually, in fact, 100% of the time they said that I could. So the job audition is so important. Is so important.
And costs so very little in the grand scheme of things. So I just have to say that if you're not doing a job audition for any employees in your office, you should be, because everyone out there has been burned by the person who was the most amazing interview ever. Like, they were just amazing. And then the day they start, it's like this completely different person shows up at your practice.
Exactly. In fact, I've had that happen to me.
We do have not a question, but some feedback that said, excellent information. Looking forward to implementing it. Thank you.
You're welcome, Doctor. And we'd love to have questions. Now's the chance to get your questions asked.
This is not the part of every webinar that I do. Like, I don't know if I should be scared or happy. Either I did an amazing job explaining something and there's no questions to be asked. Either that or I've confused people to the point that they have no idea what to ask. But since I've observed your webinar, I can say that you did an amazing job of explaining everything. So.
Well, you are so kind. Here's another question. Is there a better way to compensate the COA because hourly salary doesn't seem to be motivating? And Dr. Wilson asked that question. So here's what I want to motivate my COA. The chiropractic testimonies, the way that we treat people, the hourly. Now, if they produce at a particular rate, I'll give them a raise or more hours. And I have had very, very well compensated COAs. Now, I had a COA that inside our program, inside the New Patient Academy, who produced for her doctor over 600 new patients in the door in 1 year. That's 50 a month, 50 additional on top of referrals and their internet stuff and all that she was doing. And kept him busy and his two associates and doing massive amounts of new patients. Is there more numbers than 33444? No, that's that. You're going to text 5-star to that number, and I just tried it, Marv, and it does work. So
it's just a short text code. That's all.
Yeah. So I would compensate, and then here's the thing that motivates them is that you're meeting with them, and you're recognizing, appreciating, approve of them. You're training them. Every office meeting where a COA comes, one of the things that they do is and by the way, most of the time it's a woman in this position. I find that if I have a lot of male chiropractors that I've worked with. It seems important to have a woman to soften, let's say, a screening event, and about 90% of the COAs I know are women. They work in my clinic really, really well with heavily male population chiropractor. I know that 51% of the chiropractors in school now are women, so it may change. But they report their statistics. We help them. Patients get to know them. They're our outreach person, and we have a great big board, information board with pictures of our events. And we actually have our marketing calendar. We call it our outreach calendar. Let's see, I appreciate the information. This is from Kathy Chandler, Dr. Kathy. The job audition info was helpful along with the diagram you started with. We are currently developing our big picture plan so we can determine the smaller details within the plan, the big piece of our plan. Thank you so much. Kathy, you are welcome. You are super welcome. So you're looking for somebody who's got a natural reliability, somebody who's willing to engage, somebody who loves the mission that we're on. That's the person that we want to hire, and we want to give them an opportunity to learn. Now, you don't need, if there's, Gerber teaches in his book, The E-Myth Revisited, that if the genius is in the system, you don't need the genius in the person. Now, we hire the best person that we possibly can, but we also need the best system that we can. And by the way, that's what the New Patient Academy does. The New Patient Academy helps people. We've got a killer new patient program. We've got excellent training. We've got all the steps to the 7-step hiring filter. If you want to have a COA and if you want to have the work, when I say done for you, somebody who's plotted out every single step of the way, has all of the scripts, all of the checklists. That's what mynpa.com is all about. That's what we do there. So anything else, Christy? Anything else? Do you have a question, or should we? We're scheduled in
No.
what, 5 minutes?
We are, which means y'all all have an opportunity to take a deep breath, sit for just a second, run to the potty, and get back to treating your patients, because it's a great day to be a great day. Dr. Lloyd, I can't thank you enough for taking the time out of your schedule to be here. Like I said, y'all know I'm traveling all over the country. Sometimes I am the hostess with the mostest from an airport near you on Tuesday afternoons. I try not to do that, but that does happen upon occasion. And Dr. Lloyd and I have been emailing each other back and forth as we keep zipping across the country. So I really appreciate it when our presenters who are so busy in their own practices and their own businesses take the time to share their lunch hour with us to do these presentations, and also to y'all for taking time out of your busy schedules to be a part of the presentation. So Dr. Lloyd, thank you.
You are welcome so much. And somebody asked a question, what do I text for info? Text the word 5-star, 5-star, one word, all pushed together to 33444. 33444, and you'll get the information. So thanks, Christy. So if we did everything, should I just hang up? Is that what we should do?
That's it. That's all you got to do. For everybody else, just a reminder, next week we have Dr. Fab Mancini, who's going to be here on how to manifest extra money, better health, a bigger practice, deeper happiness, and more. We've been so practice focused. It's time for us to get centered. And then we're going to jump right into getting prepared for Posture Month in May with Dr. Stephen Waniger the following week. And then we're going to jump back in. We're doing a lot of talks about hiring the right people because your jobs will be made so much easier if you have the right people in your practice doing the right jobs, because the people make all of the difference. That's the make or break for your practice. Let's see. I've got a lot of people, so we're going to do this one more time. It's 5-star. So pick up your phones right now. We're going to do this all together because I'm getting like 3 or 4 text messages. You're going to open up the text box. Okay, on the 2 part, you're going to type 33444. In the message, you're going to type FIVSTAR, one word. If you have autocorrect, it's going to try to separate it, change it, all kinds of stuff. So 5-star, one word, double check and make sure it's not messing up, hit the send button, and it'll take care of it from there.
And Christy, if anybody has trouble, they can email me at Noel at my5star.com, Noel like Christmas, at my5star, all spelled out, .com, and I'll make sure you get taken care of.
Perfect. So thank y'all, everyone, because now we're a minute over. Make sure you go to the ChiroHealthUSA website to look at the upcoming webinars. Be on the lookout for Dr. Lloyd to be back again later this year. Wants to check in and make sure that you're implementing all these great things that he's talking about today. So send us your feedback. Let me know what else you want to see. We're working on the webinar schedule for the rest of the year and the start of next year. So tell me who you want to hear from, what you want us to be presenting about, what you need to know to become more successful, more profitable in practice, because that's what we're here to do. Thank y'all so much, everyone, and have an amazing day, and I'll see y'all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Christy.